Welcome to Volume 4 of Awesome 2023 Middle Grade. Today we're going to be talking about 5 books that you are going to rush to the bookstore and buy. You're going to be so excited about them because there are so many amazing books. The first 3 episodes in this series are linked in the description below if you want to go back and look at those 15 awesome books. But today we're going to talk about 5 books that you're going to want to add to your classroom library. At least some of these because they're so stinking good. So let me know in the comments which books you're going to be adding to your collection. Let's start with one of the most popular series the last decade, The Wild Robot Protects. Book 3 from Peter Brown. You fell in love with Roz during The Wild Robot, fell deeper in love with her during The Wild Robot Escapes, and now she's back. She's got a little bit of some upgrades. Bright Bill might have a mate, but something bad is happening in this world. The water is suffering from some tremendous pollution, and it's killing animals. Animals are fleeing, and it just messes up the entire food chain, the entire ecosystem. It's bad. It's bad, folks. It's bad. Can you guess who the hero is? Who we need some help from? Who's the only being that might be able to save the day, might be able to take things and fix them? You have to read The Wild Robot Protects. It's phenomenal. Kids who have fallen in love with this book over the years are going to be so happy to spend more time with Roz. I am so excited for them. This would have been the series that I would have fallen deeply in love with as a kid. This is the book that would have got me hooked on reading. Can you imagine? You see it right there. That's my Hatchet from when I was 10. Miss Collins read us Hatchet in 4th grade. But I didn't have, all the other Brian books weren't out yet. There was no The Wild Robot Protects to hand me afterwards. But it's right here, right now. Let's go. The Wild Robot Protects. Kids are going to love it. Next up, Deborah Hopkinson's The Plot to Kill a Queen. So we got this girl named Amelia, and she wants to write plays. But she can't because she's a girl. And this is like going on like during the whole like Mary, Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth. I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't know like Mary Queen of Scots was like under like house arrest and like in prison. I didn't know any of that. But you get to learn it in this as she tries, because there's like a spy, there's like a mystery. You're in for a treat. I didn't know what to think about this because this is not my favorite time period to read, but I was hooked. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's so fine. She got a little dog. She got a little dog she travels with, but she's trying to like see how like maybe Mary Queen of Scots is sneaking out messages. Will she get caught? Oh, it's so good. So good. Next up, Jean Dupro. You know her from The City of Ember, and you probably fell in love with that. Can you believe it's 20 years? Well, she's back, like another dystopian. And I love middle grade dystopian. It's really hard to do. And in this book, at the very beginning, Keith, who lives with his family, and this is like 300 to 500 years into the future, they get a letter that his cousin, Lulu, has been orphaned because his aunt and uncle died in the ocean, like they were swept away by waves. So he's got to go and he's going to go because the parents are working, mom broke her ankle, dad's working. He's going to go on the train to get her because that's how you travel in this new world. You travel by train because there's no more, they're not using fossil fuel at all because we mess up the world so much. They had to do like this hard reset. And it's so interesting to watch him like discover more about the past and why they are where they are. No phones, no like internet, TV, cars. There's a train that like connects these 9 different cities, only goes 45 miles an hour. Electricity gets turned way down or goes out at night. Oh, it's so interesting. And on this ride to get his cousin, he comes across someone and finds something about what might be happening behind the scenes. And he gets really interested and really curious about it. Oh, it's so good. And then read the author's note because Jean is like, cares about the earth so much. She was getting solar panels before anyone was getting solar panels. It's so interesting. Project F, check it out. I was like on the edge of my seat. Actually, I was reading on the beach. I was like on the edge of the bench by the beach, which could have fallen in an ocean or a small lake. One of the two. Next up, The Lost Library, Rebecca Stead, Wendy Mass. They brought us Bob. This one is really fun. So you have this town and you have this boy and there's this little cat who lives in this home with ghost and in this historical place. And he used to be like a library cat, but the library burnt down, you find out in the book. And this boy discovers, they set out, like they end up taking the books that were left over like 20 years ago from the library fire into a like little free library, and like this little free library like rejuvenates the town. But then the boy discovers there's like a mystery about the fire, and it's related to like it could be related to a very famous author. But also his dad's name is in a lot. It was like the last person to check out a lot of the books that didn't burn down in the library. There's some twist, turns, ghost, little free libraries, mystery. Lost Library would make an amazing like 4th, 5th, 6th grade read aloud. Oh, the kids would be on the edge of their seats and there'd be so many moments. Check it out, so good. All right, next up, great book for middle schoolers here, Hope in the Valley, Matali Perkins, a story of a girl in the early 1980s in Silicon Valley. There's this house across the street, this old rundown house that she used to spend a lot of time with her mom in. Her mom has passed away. Awful. But she really wants to go. She goes there a lot still, and she just has like time to herself, thinking about like the writing, the poetry that her mother and her shared. So when they come to tear it down, she's not happy. She actually like joins like with the historical society to try to save it, because there's orchards and there's this like, big long history of what the people who like lived there before meant to the community that she's trying to uncover, try to save it. But these other people are trying to turn it into affordable housing. And one of the other people trying to turn it into affordable housing is actually her sister's on that team. So it's all, it's stressful. And the dad is maybe starting today, maybe not starting today. Holy smokes. Whew. I really loved it. I think it's a really great book. So those are the books that we have been reading that I have fallen in love with. I hope you found something to add to your to-read list. But remember, you have to let me know in the comments, which one of these books do you most want to read? Which one of these books do you think your kids would most be captivated by? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Colby Sharp. Put some other videos up here in this series. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have an awesome, fantastic